The space between the words we say, a silence shaped from yesterday. I speak, but all you hear is air, like I was never really there. We sit in rooms that you used to know, the heat of touch, the need to grow. Now every glance feels out of place, and time won't slow to meet my face. Rising with intensity, you hold me like a memory, a version worn too thin to be. I try to reach what slipped away, a closeness lost we couldn't stay. Powerfully soaring, I feel my distance in you grow, a shadow where we used to glow. Your heart beats near, but moves apart, and leaves a hollow in my heart. No fight, no break, just subtle flight, a love that fades without a fight. Your smile still fits, but not for me. It's worn for ghosts I cannot see. We share a world, but not a spark. Two matches left inside the dark. Rising with intensity, where mirrors missing half the light. Still holding on, but not too tight. You turn, I stay, yet both retreat. Our echoes are lost beneath our feet. Powerfully soaring, I feel my distance in you grow, like seasons drift in silent snow. We trace the steps, but never meet. Our love dissolving in repeat. No tear, no rage, just quiet split. And I still ache where you once fit. If love could speak, would it confess the pain we hide in tenderness? Or let the silence be our proof that closeness can be just a roof? Even more powerful, oh, I feel my distance in you burn, a lesson we refuse to learn. You never left, I never ran, but somehow lost the shape we ran. Still here, still near, but not the same. Just shadows dancing in our name. Still I stay, still you do, but I'm a distance in you. Some paths were drawn but never walked, some truths too fragile to be talked. I stood before a faded sign, it pointed somewhere, never mind. The gravel whispered underfoot, where hope once bloomed but never took. I dreamed of places I could be, but woke inside what used to be. They said the road would guide me through, but never warned of all I'd lose. Each turn I took felt carved in doubt, each silence screamed what dreams left out. These roads not written still call my name, a voice inside I cannot tame. The maps all blur, the signs all fade, yet I still chase what we never made. I walk the edge of might have been, a ghost of love beneath my soul. I never asked for all the pain, but still I walk into the rain. These roads might break, they might mislead, but they still pulse with what I need. These roads not written still call my name, a voice inside I cannot tame. The maps all blur, the signs all fade, yet I still chase what we never made. I walk the edge I might have been, a ghost of love beneath my skin. I bled on stones that held your trace. I searched for you in empty space. If all we had was just a guess, I'd still believe it nonetheless. These roads not written still pull me close. With every scar I never chose, a future lost, a past too loud. I carry both beneath this shroud. Still chasing light where we once stood, still hoping pain could burn some good. Somewhere ahead, somewhere unknown. I walk the roads we've never grown. There's dust where names once used to stay. In corners time just walked away. The air remembers how we spoke, then buried silence in the smoke. The doors are shut but never closed, the windows hum with stories froze. I felt the cracks beneath my feet, each step a song I can't repeat. I trace the walls, I chase the sound of memories that won't be found. Echo where the years won't go, and hold the things I'll never show. In the places time forgot, we are what the years are not. Moments stuck too deep to fade, still alive in what we made. Where the clocks all lost their hands, and we remain like shifting sand. A chair untouched, a breath held long, a name left out of every song. These shadows stretch across the floor, like we just left and closed the door. Each echo begs a second chance to rewrite truth with one last glance. But time moved on without a sound, and left us where we won't be found. In the places time forgot, we are what the years are not. Moments stuck too deep to fade, still alive in what we made. Where the clocks all lost their hands, and we remain like shifting sand. You called my name across the dusk, in words now rusted into dust. But I still walk those empty halls, the world erased but never falls. In the places time forgot, you breathe inside each broken thought. Love unmarked and time untrue, still burns like light I never knew. The world moved on, the years move fast, but I still live where we were last. I still remain in every spot, inside the places time forgot. Between the moments I remain, a flicker flicker caught between the rain. No sound, just thoughts I never shared. In empty space where we once cared. The world kept turning past our name, but I stood still inside the flame. Each heartbeat waiting for a sign, each silence almost feeling mine. A hush that knew too much to say, a breath that never walked away. And all the things we left not done, I stayed behind and came undone. Held in the pause where we once stood, where time forgot what silence could. Not lost, not whole, just in between, where ghosts still echo what has been. I wait in stillness, raw and true, held in the pause that carried you. Could count this time, no map could trace what once was mine. You were a whisper in the frame, now even echoes fear your name. I reach but never find the thread, just shadows where your warmth once bled. And so I stay in places bare, where nothing moves and you're still there. Held in the pause where we once stood, where time forgot what silence could. Not lost, not whole, just in between, where ghosts still echo what has been. I wait in stillness, raw and true, held in the pause that carried you. Not an end, it's not a start, just what remains inside the heart. A moment caught in fractured glass, forever stuck but meant to pass. Held in the pause I can't outrun, a breath between what's said and done. You never left, you never stayed. That holds me to, in this still breath, you still remain. Held in the pause that spoke our name. With faces I couldn't name, rooms that knew me but not the same. Each smile hung like borrowed clothes, too tight to wear, too warm to hold. The floorboards whispered not to stay, as if my steps would give me away. I stared too long at hollow frames, still waiting to become the names. And every corner curved with doubt, a silent screaming to get out. The laughter lost its skin and sound, and love refused to stick around. It never felt like home to me, just borrowed time and lost Like even it was unaware, my name rang out then disappeared in echoes built from every fear. The frames were filled, the table set, but I was not what they had kept. A ghost pretending to belong in someone else's faded song. It never felt like home to me, just empty chairs and vacancy. No thread that tied the breath I gave, just walls too proud to ever cave. I tried, I stayed, I called it mine, but home ignored me every time. I carved my name in secret tones on doors that turn to heavier stones. But truth is sharp and love is slow, when nothing ever tells you go. It never felt like home to me, just memories that wouldn't see. The light was warm, the walls were kind, but I remained so misaligned. No fire, no roots, no place to claim, just a house that never knew my name. I stepped away, still all alone, from everything that felt like home. They touched the world but never held these hands that time itself expelled. No weight remained, no thread was tied, just gestures drifting open wide. They shaped what couldn't be embraced, built silence into every space. No name to sign, no vow to keep, just hours folded into sleep. They reached for meaning, found a blur, no signal left, no final word. A trace of effort, not of grace, so carved in air, not time or place. These hands were lost before the fall, before the sky could touch it all. They drew the line between the light, then vanished deep inside the night. Not made to hold, not meant to bind, just echoes trailing far behind. They never learned the shape of peace, or when to hold or when to cease. They gave away what couldn't stay, in broken ways words can't convey. Still they remain in some small form, a reach to tremble past the norm, as if they knew but couldn't prove what fates can still be made to move. These hands were lost before the song, before I knew where they belong. They touched the walls, they traced the sky, and never once asked reason why. They carry quiet, not regret, just everything they can't forget. And in the hush they still remain, not holding love, not grasping pain, but somewhere in between the two, still open for what might be true. These hands were lost, but still they rise, unwritten fire in tired skies. They never held, but always knew some things are real without a clue. still they wait for what might return. The edges blur where thoughts collide, and truths I hid refuse to hide. Each step I take feels half erased, a map drawn wrong, a time misplaced. The stars don't shine the way they did, they flicker out where hopes were hid. I chase the echo of a sign, something that once felt close to mine. I never asked the night for grace, just space to feel a softer place. But silence filled the gaps between where I had been and might have been. I'm fading toward a name not known, a meaning carved in breath and bone. I carry light I cannot see, a fire that flickers quietly. I'm not the end, I'm not the start, just what remains of breaking heart. Wind forgets the roads I've crossed, it hums the sound of what was lost. I reach for words I never spoke, but only find the ash and smoke. Not every scar will speak aloud, but some still thunder through the crowd. They shape the void I wander in, a world of echoes wearing thin. I'm fading toward a voice that stays just out of reach but lights my days. A name I never dared to keep, that sings beneath my shallow sleep. It isn't wrong, it isn't right, but still I walk into the night. I'm more than gone, I'm almost clear, a shadow drawn too close to fear. And in that gap I find the thread of all I meant, of all I said. I'm fading toward what love once meant, through moments lost, through time unspent. No map will lead, no light will show, but still I go, I have to go. The fire may dim, but it still leans towards something more, toward what it means. Still I fade, still I feel, still I move towards something real. It flickered once across the floor, a glow I'd never seen before. No form to hold, no line to trace, just warmth that moved without a face. It called without a sound or plea, adrift between what's lost and free. I tried to reach, but nothing stayed. The light kept slipping as I prayed. It danced around the edge of me, a promise blurred in mystery. No path to walk, no fire to tame, just something bright without a name. Light without shape, love undefined. It burned the walls inside my mind. No shadow cast, no face at war, just presence I could not ignore. I chased it through the empty air, but found myself still staying. never spoke, it never stayed, but somehow knew the price I paid. No footsteps marked where it had been, just stillness echoing within. A glimmer bent around the truth, a fading song I knew from youth. No border where its edges lay, yet still I followed anyway. Light without shape, voice without name, it held my hope, it fed my flame. No form to touch, no hand to guide, but something kept me close inside. And though I never made it mine, it walked with me beyond the line. I screamed into the glow unseen, where silence burned and thought grew lean. Yet in the blur I found release, a fractured calm, a ghost of peace. Light without shape, still it remains, in every crack, in every stain. It held the me I couldn't show, a fire in places I don't know. No longer chasing what won't stay, I live the light that leads the way. Not to hold, not to define, but still it glows somewhere in mine. The street was loud, but not for me. Its pulse a blur, I couldn't see. Each footstep passed like distant rain, while I stood still inside my name. The voices spoke in present tense, but every word felt too immense, as if the world had moved ahead and left my echoes here instead. I watched the sky without a claim, a foreign star, a borrowed name. The air too sharp, the day too loud, like being lost inside a crowd. The past reached out with open hands, but time dissolved its soft demands. I tried to step into the light, but felt like memory in flight. This now I'm in, it doesn't fit, a coat that tears with every sin. I blink, I breathe, I wear the hours, but none of them have felt like ours. beneath the dust, the story fades, etched in the cracks that silence made. And no one recalls the lines once said, and they float above the roads I tread. The mirror holds a trace of blur, a flicker lost inside a stir of voices that once knew me well, now just a space where echoes dwell. The air grows thick with what once was, a name unspoken left because the world moved on, the pages turned while I stayed near what once had burned. Recall the when or how, a syllable that used to shine, now buried deep in faultless time. I hold the silence like a vow, no past a stitch, no why or how, just pieces scattered in a thought of names the present now. I feel it branded on my heart, a truth that time cannot have caught, a name the past forgot. The road still hums beneath my feet, but never brings me home complete. Each turn I take feels just the same, a loop that folds into my name. Change, the sky replace 1,000 nearly yesterdays. I feel the shape of where I've been, but never quite enough to win. There's something close but not quite mine, a voice that echoes out of line, a memory I almost grasped that faded just before I clasped. not the time or why or place. They whispered names I might have worn, but leave me more unknown, forlorn. I knock on doors that once knew me, but time has changed the lock and key. I'm always nearly where I go, a breath behind the self I know. The past is pressed against my track. I'm always almost coming back, but never quite, not full intact. Just always almost back. The sky was full but never broke, our silence thick with words we choked. Each glance a window we won't clean, too stained to show what might have been. We stood too close but never near. Your voice was loud, I didn't hear, and every step we didn't take was carved beneath the small heartbreaks. Between the echoes and the doubt, we built a storm we can't talk out. You reached for me, I reached too late. Now all that's left is slip and fade. There's rain between us, not just sky, a distance deep we can't deny. The warmth we had now feels like steam, evaporated from our dream. I call your name, it doesn't stay, just raindrops washing us away. I tried to hold you through the sound, but water makes for fragile ground. We danced around what we won't say, and let the flood take us away. No shelter built on words untrue can keep the storm from bleeding through. We watched it all dissolve in gray, too scared to leave, too lost to stay. There's rain between us, not just time. It fills the space we used to find, a quiet flood that pulls us thin, too loud to shout, too soft to win. I see your shape, I feel your grace, but not enough to find your face. We used to burn, we used to blaze. Now all we do is count the days. The thunder's not what breaks us now, it's how we stopped asking how. There's rain between us, so dead wide, a love that learned how not to fight. We used to run, we used to burn, but now the fire won't return. I'll hold the storm, I'll face the blur, but never reach the way we were. You're close enough, but out of sight. Between us falls this endless night. One breath and I was almost there, a glimpse of us still in the air. Your laughter echo in the walls. Now silence answers all my calls. The light was dim, the moment close, but time as always never froze. I saw the edge, I felt the flame, and whispered almost to your name. So near I felt your shadow bend, so far it slipped before the end. I reach but moments have no core, they vanish like unopened doors. A breath away from what we were, still tasting truths I can't deter. It burned so bright, it stayed so near, yet always vanished when I steered. I chased the space the time ignored, a breath away from all before. Walking steps we left untried, a past still beating deep inside. You live in places I can't keep, a song I hum but cannot speak. I never knew what held me still, or why I bend against my will. But in the hush of what we lost, I breathe the truth and bear the cost. A breath away from what we were, still testing truths I can't deter. It burned so bright, it stayed so near, yet always vanished when I steered. I chased the space that time ignored, a breath away from all before. I almost did, but almost is what never fades. You stayed behind that closing door, so close and yet forevermore. A breath away, but never mine, a thread too thin to realign. You were the echo I adored, a breath away from all before, still burning where we used to be, still just beyond the reach of me. One breath remained, then it was gone, and I still breathe where we held on. The path was cracked, yet I kept on. A silence deeper than the dawn. No markers told me where to stay, just faded signs along the way. I never asked the wind to speak, but still it whispered soft and bleak, and knew the names I left behind, the ones I lost, the ones I find. Each shadow held a voice I knew, half fading out, half breaking through. The road had questions I outgrew, but answers never came in view. A house once warm, not just a frame, where silence sings without a name. echoes call, but do not wait. They only follow, never say. 1,000 turns that led to here, each one carved out by doubt and fear. Yet in the hush I feel it still, a weightless ache I cannot fill. Each shadow held a voice I knew, half fading out, half breaking through. The road had questions I outgrew, but answers never came revealed. If I could speak, I'd say it low. The truth, the silence tried to show that all I am still walks alone, where even echoes won't atone. Streets remember where I stood, but never what I understood. I tried to sing, but sound was dry, like echoes bleeding from the sky. The mirrors cracked from all I said, reflections lost, my meaning bled. No crowd to face, no hand to raise, just silence carved into the haze. I begged the wind to carry more, but whispers died against the floor. Each breath I gave, each word I meant, became a ghost the moment spent. My voice in ruins, torn and dry, once full of truth, now asking why. I scream, but silence holds the crown. It pulls me up, then drags me down. A melody I couldn't keep now echoes where I used to speak. Each lyric lost in time's quick flash. I tried to shout what burned in me, but fire can't pierce what none can see. I reached for sound, but sound was gone. The chorus fading with the dawn. No anthem left, no voice to guide, just broken tones I couldn't hide. Still trembling where it roared before. There's beauty in the things that break, in every breath we fail to take. But I won't fade beneath this weight. I'll speak again though it's too late. My voice in ruins, cracked and dark can hold, with truths too loud, too raw, too bold. Though shattered now, I still remain a song rebuilt from all this pain. So let it across the glass, like fingers sifting through the past. The room was quiet, nearly bare, but still your shadow lingered there. A clock unwound, its voice grown dim, like songs that lost the will to swim. Each tick a breath I used to keep now echoes somewhere lost in sleep. The door stayed closed, the light grew thin, and time refused to let me in. I searched for moments we once knew, but only found the shape of you. Could hold what slipped away, no word could teach the past to stay. I stood between what once had been and dreams that fade before they begin. The silence bent, it didn't break. It watched me tremble, watched me fake. Some strength I never truly held, some truth I never really spelled. And if you ask me who I am, I'd point to where the stillness ran. Between the loss I can't dissever, between then and never. Footsteps left to mark the ground. I reached for doors that never came, just shadows mouthing out my name. The light stood still across the floor, a silence I could not ignore. It wrapped around what once was loud, and buried voices in a cloud. The echo didn't try to stay, it drifted further, slipped away. Each breath I took was barely mine, still caught between the lost and life. The stillness whispered where I'd been, a hush beneath remembered skin. It pulled me close but didn't speak, just showed the cracks I couldn't see. A room without the need to prove, where all I am forgot to move. And in that hush I almost cried for everything I kept inside. The echo didn't try to stay, it drifted further, slipped away. Each breath I took was barely mine, still caught between the lost and still, too tired to move, as if it mourned what we once proved. Each room around me lost its grace, but held the shape of your old face. A photo bed with time's slow burn, still rests in corners where I turn. It doesn't speak, it doesn't fade, it's just the mess that memory made. I touched the wall, it pulled away, like even silence couldn't stay. The years went on, but something stayed, a shadow of what never swayed. The dust had weight, like quiet rain. It settled soft but held my pain. Each motor whisper, not yet said, each one a path I never tread. The frame still hangs, a quiet scar that keeps me near yet always far. The glass was fogged with years I lost, each breath a page that blurred the cost. A figure stood not quite complete, with borrowed eyes and missing feet. It looked like me but never stayed, a shape the present couldn't shape. It mouthed the names I couldn't say, then turned its face and walked away. Rising with intensity, I reached but touch was never real. Just fragments time refused to heal. A reflection stitched in silent thread of someone here and someone dead. Powerfully soaring, half in the mirror, half unknown. A version carved from thoughts alone. I stared into the cracks of a light, searching for a soul too faint for sight. It knew my steps but not my name, a whisper caught inside the frame. It mirrored grief I didn't show, the kind that hides where shadows go. Each question blinked behind the glass, a moment stuck too slow to pass. Rising with intensity, the silence built a second skin, where all I lost still lived within. No scream, no shatter, just a gaze that softened into memory's haze. Powerfully soaring, half in the mirror, half erased. A life the world could not replace. It held my doubts, it wore my fear, yet somehow made them disappear. I wasn't whole, but I was true, and all that glass refused to do. I broke the gaze, but not the spell, still trapped where quiet stories dwell. No exit sign, no final word, just everything I never heard. Half in the mirror, half outside, still walking where the lost ones hide. No fix, no cure, no ending clear, but somehow more myself in here. The past reflects what won't let go, and names me something I don't know. Still I stand, half in the mirror, still somewhere. The wind once touched me like a name. Before I knew I'd lose the flame, it hummed a tune I couldn't play. A memory I dared not face. A silence hung from every tree, as if the world forgot to be. I felt it deep but The truth was soft but cut like stone. I carried it, but not alone. It whispered once, then faded out. A love I never learned to shout. Once before I knew the cost, I held a fire I never lost. It warmed me in the quiet days that left me staring through the haze. I didn't see it slip away, but feel it every breath I take. A glance, a hand, a half-turned smile stayed buried in a distant mile. The past was dressed in